This is like the fourth time I've tried to record this. Yeah, today's a shit day. Obviously, as you can tell by the title of the video and what I'm wearing, it's not a good day for Coyotes fans. The reality is hitting us in the face like a sack of nickels, and it hurts. And so I just kind of need to make this video just to kind of give a little bit of context of kind of like how we got here and how I feel about it. I keep re-recording this over and over again, and it just ends up being 30 minutes long. So I just can't do that. I have loved hockey since I was a little kid. I was, I don't know, probably 6 years old when I watched my first hockey game on TV. I remember the Pittsburgh Penguins were doing really well. It might have been a playoff game. I don't remember. Um, I remember that my first team that I fell in love with was the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, that whole team. And then the Coyotes came here in 96. Um, we'd had a minor league team called the Phoenix Roadrunners before that. They played at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. I went to a game there when I was a little kid. I remember the mascot was Rocky the Roadrunner. And so they had this thing called the Rocky Train, where Rocky the Roadrunner would lead like this Congo line of fans around the arena, all while the Quad City DJs, the train song played in the background, and everyone did the train, and it was super cool. I remember my dad taking me to my first Coyotes game. It was just a few months after my parents had divorced, and I was 10 years old, and it was a real hard time for me. There's a lot going on. Just I didn't understand things. I didn't feel a whole lot of love. It was hard. And I remember my dad and I, and who would eventually end up being my stepmom, um, we got in the car and we were going to downtown Phoenix, and they said that we were going to the Arizona Auto Show. And look at my other videos on this channel. I love cars. So we're going to go to the auto show. And he said, "Here, can you hold the tickets while we go?" And so he turned the dome light on in the car, and he handed me 3 tickets, and it said Colorado Avalanche at Phoenix Coyotes. And it was at America West Arena. And that was my first ever NHL game. And I still have, this is my dad's Coyotes jersey. It is a Phoenix Coyotes jersey. It's a starter jersey from, kind of from that period. And so that was my dad's hockey jersey when I was a kid. And there's family pictures. There's pictures, of me and my dad, of him wearing his jersey, and it was just a really good time. And then we moved up to northern Arizona in 2000, so we didn't get a chance to go to as many games. And we ended up going to, there was a minor league team in Prescott Valley called the Arizona Sundogs in the late 2000s. And so I went to a bunch of those games. Then girlfriend, and I would go to a bunch of their games. They ended up winning their league championship the second year. The only guy that I know of that busted through all the way through to the NHL was David Schlemko. You may have heard or know of him. He came from the Arizona Sundogs. And so I went to games there. I went to games when I could in Glendale. Not living in the Phoenix area, it wasn't easy, because not only did you have to pay for the hockey ticket, but you had to figure out the time to drive down and the time to drive back. Were you going to stay overnight somewhere after the game? Like, what were you going to do? So I didn't get a chance to go to a ton of games, but I'd always watch them on TV. Like watching, like I've got a shirt in my closet in my bedroom. I've got a Arizona Sundogs champion shirt. I've got a Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes. Can't remember if they'd switched to Arizona yet or not, but a Coyotes Pacific Division champion shirt from 2012. I went to a training camp event that they held in Prescott Valley that I got a shirt autographed by the entire team, and I got pictures. I got a selfie of me with Shane Doan. You know, so like I've been a Coyotes fan since the day they came here in '96. I was 10 years old when that happened. I turned 39 later this year. So I've been a hockey fan for a long time. And, you know, there's plenty of other resources out there to kind of see all the different mismanagement, um, you know, what's got us here. I think it all falls to we've had incompetent ownership of this team since 2001. When Steve Ellman bought out Richard Burke's half of the team and insisted he was going to move him to Glendale because Glendale offered him a bunch of free land and a whole bunch of taxpayer money to build stuff in the middle of an open field. Um, that was, I feel like that was the beginning of the end. Like it took a long time for us to get to this point, but that decision to move to Glendale was the worst decision they could have possibly made. 70% of their season ticket holders were in Scottsdale, Mesa, Tempe, Chandler, Gilbert in the East Valley. And that drive, people who aren't from here don't understand what I-10 is like trying to leave downtown Phoenix at 4 to 5 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. It is awful. Um, I'll throw up a couple of Google Maps kind of screenshots of just the traffic today. Just say you wanted to get to the arena by 6:30 for a 7 o'clock puck drop. Here's what the traffic would look like. And it's like an hour. It's like at least an hour to sometimes up to 2 hour drive just to get from the East Valley to the West Valley, because I-10 is the only way to go west out of downtown Phoenix. So there's a lot of that, but I think the one thing that I do want to get into here is why I feel betrayed and what makes this hurt so much. And it has to do with the current ownership. Alex Morello bought the team in 2019. And then he does this weird game of chicken with the city of Glendale that I to this day, I don't understand why. It was the dumbest. I don't understand why he did what he did. And this is the whole unpaid taxes thing. I don't understand why. I don't understand what the point of that was. Like he was trying to like strong arm the city of Glendale into doing something for him. I don't know, but Glendale called his bluff. They called him out publicly and said, bro, you're behind on taxes and we're going to lock you out of the fucking building if you don't pay him. Come on, let's go. And of course he's a billionaire. Like he's had the money the whole time. So like, it's not like he couldn't pay the bill. He just chose not to. And that is kind of the ball started rolling from there, and it's never stopped with stupidity and incompetence by this ownership group. Then they went to Tempe and they wanted to build this Tempe entertainment district, and they just kind of counted their chickens before they hatched. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to win by like 20 or 30 points in the vote. Like they were so bragging. They were like, oh yeah, put it up to a public vote. We're going to be fine. Well, the opposition got out there. First of all, the opposition told a bunch of nothing but lies. Like Lauren Kuby and the Tempe First Project are just the biggest bunch of phony frauds I've ever seen. Like they just filled the public perception with a whole bunch of lies. And the older voters that live in South Tempe, who are the only ones who showed up to vote for that, bought it. And they voted it down by a huge margin. And yeah, if you go and look at the results of the voting, the overwhelming majority of the votes came from 65 and up and came from South Tempe, not even around where the arena would have been. And so congratulations, Tempe. You got a toxic landfill now that, no, it's never going to be a city park, and no, it's never going to be low-income housing, no matter what you may tell yourselves. Good job, guys. Appreciate that. And then he does this crap in North Phoenix. And I feel like this is ultimately why the NHL says, we're fucking done, bro. We're done. So he starts the process on this land last June, is what all the reporting all says. He started this in June. And then the Tempe Entertainment District was going to be 50 acres, about 50-ish acres. So he goes to North Tempe, adjacent to Scottsdale, across from the Mayo Clinic, the TPC Scottsdale and Desert Ridge. This is not exactly an impoverished area, and says, you know what? Let's go ahead and scratch me out there about 200 acres. So they go through all the process of, the all the stuff that they have to do, and flood reviews, and land reviews, and environmental stuff, and utility stuff, and all, just everything that they had to do there. And then they come back and say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost you. And he's like, oh, that's expensive. That's a lot of money. And so this is January. The last, there was, and I apologize, I don't know who the reporter was on this, but somebody said this is kind of about the timeline. So January is when we should have had the announcement and the official, okay, this is the land we're using, and the auction date, and that's when everything should have been going. They get to January and they're like, it's actually a little expensive. Can we cut that down to 100 acres? So now the state has to go, okay, fine, let's redo all this. It didn't take as long the second time around, but they had to go back through this process over again to rescope it for 100 acres instead of 200. You just lost yourself several months worth there. And by all accounts, this is when all the rumors started. The end of January is when all the rumors really started taking on steam that there's a problem here, and the NHL is running out of patience. That's where you had Gary Bettman have the infamous, I'm reasonably confident, in the most unconfident way you could possibly say those words.
I'm both hopeful that and reasonably confident that he's going to do what he says.
You had Marty Walsh from the Players Union just going scorched earth on the Coyotes. And then, and it literally, as I'm getting ready for this video, the Coyotes are playing right now. And in the pregame, there's Todd Walsh, who's covered the Coyotes since the day they started in '96 for us here, asked the head coach, Andre Tourney, and he said, yeah, the day that our 14 game losing streak started was the day that all these rumors went out there. So the players have been distracted for this entire second half of the season. And now it's getting even worse, because now it's like there's players who have had kids born in the last few months. Players who have bought houses maybe, or they've started families. Like, they love it here. They want to be in Phoenix. And now, hope you enjoy Salt Lake City. And it's just, as a Coyotes fan, I feel I could go off on the Stephen A. Smith tirade. I have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived, or whatever that legendary rant was that he had, because like, we all trusted Alex Morello. We all believed him when he told us he was going to do this. He was going to get all this done. And even like the up until the last few days, they're like, no, don't worry, everything's fine. Like, it's a combination of the cartoon character of him sitting in the room that's on fire going, this is fine. Everything's fine. And Leslie Nielsen from, I believe it's The Naked Gun, the house is exploding, there's nothing to see here, move along. That is literally what the last 2 weeks have been like, especially the last week with the Coyotes. And now we get to today in these reports where, Frank Saravelli, which I'm still not a fan of him. I don't like, I still think he's a jackass, but I got to give him credit. Sounds like he's right. His reporting's been accurate. I don't like the guy, but you know what? He's been right. John Gambadoro from Arizona Sports never talks about the Coyotes. I think there's days he forgets that hockey is a sport, but all of a sudden a week ago, he's coming out with all this Coyotes news, and I lit his ass up on Twitter for it. Like, just like, dude, shut the fuck up and get away from my hockey team. You don't care about this team at all. Sounds like he was right. And it's real shitty. Um, you know, what's especially shitty about this is the team, the on ice product is actually finally turning around. We've got so many good young players: Clayton Keller, Logan Cooley, Dylan Gunther, Shane Doan, Connor Ingram. Like there's Lawson Krause, Nick Schmaltz. We've got all these prospects like down in Tucson. We've got these draft picks, you know, from the last year or two, Connor Geeky. You know, we've got all these players that are, you know, in the next 2 to 3 years are going to be ready for the NHL, and they're all going to be playing for this team. It was going to be my team. There, look at this talent. They were going to play for my Coyotes. Look, these Coyotes are going to be so good. We get that arena built. Let's go win the Stanley Cup our first year in that arena, because we're stockpiling the assets that we need to do it. And now it's all gone. And I just, you know, there's this reporting that there's a 5-year window where if Morello builds the arena anyway, that he can go back to the NHL. And, you know, as long as he meets all these criteria, they'll give him an expansion team. I'll be honest with you. I don't want Alex Morello or Javier Gutierrez within 500 fucking square miles of a hockey team. Not after what they've done to us, not after how they've treated us, not after they've had their head up their ass for the last 5 years on the arena situation and not just put their money up where their mouth was and done something about it. It's absolutely unacceptable. It is flat out unacceptable. We don't want you, Alex Morello. Get the fuck out of my state and never come back. Same for you, Javier Gutierrez. Go play with your fucking casino in Reno. We don't want you here anymore. Because after what you've just done to us, you are not welcome here. Get the fuck out of here. We don't want to have anything to do with you. We don't want an expansion team from you in the future. We don't want you to, I don't trust you to sell a fucking burrito on the street corner. Okay? I don't care. I don't want you involved in this team because you have no idea what you're doing. And it's just, it's so unfair to all these hockey fans here. Youth hockey has never been bigger. The 14 and under junior Coyotes just won the national championship at the USA Hockey Tournament. ASU is a Division I NCAA hockey team. High schools have hockey teams. There are state championships for hockey now in the state of Arizona. Austin Matthews came from Scottsdale. He's born and raised here in Phoenix. He loved hockey because he watched the Coyotes on TV. Josh Doan watched his dad play for this franchise for his entire career. And now Josh Doan gets to play for the same team that his dad played for. And the Coyotes fans here, especially multiple generations, like the kids and then the parents, we are so excited about Josh Doan. It's like, hell yeah, that's Shane's kid, and we're so proud of him. ASU, Tucson, now the Coyotes. And we're just going to turn our back on all that. Like, without an NHL team here, youth hockey will fail. Because the Coyotes helped drive a lot of this. They helped out with, you know, equipment, you know, helping out with these, you know, with some of these youth leagues and, you know, their facilities they would have available for kids to skate at. There's not a whole lot of hockey rinks around Phoenix. And the Coyotes were such an instrumental part of hockey all the way down to the little kids. And as of next Thursday, they're gone. And I'll be honest that I'll be shocked if they ever come back. And I'll also be honest about this too. I don't know if I'll ever come back to the NHL. As of right now, I do not have the heart to watch this team that we've watched grow up before our eyes these last couple of years go play in Salt Lake City. I don't have the heart to do it. Like, that's not my team anymore. I don't have a team anymore. And I just, I don't, my heart is just not in this anymore. Like if the Coyotes are not here, So yeah, I'll be watching something else. So anyways, I'm on about 20 minutes on a rant here. And I'm just gonna probably just upload this straight up. I'm not gonna edit this. I'm not gonna do a bunch of silly stuff with it, but I just had to get this off my chest. If you're going to be one of those trolls who comes in and goes, "Ha ha, sucks for you. Ha ha, your team sucks. Ha ha." Just go write a Saguaro or something, because like the fault in this lies with the ownership. And the ownership history of this team, you can go back, read PHNX articles, you could go back and watch Hockey Guy articles, or watch Hockey Guy videos where they go through the detailed history of this. It's just been a monkey fucking a football one after another with the ownership of this team. It's not the fans that are the problem here. It's incompetent leadership. And we've dealt with it for over 20 years. And incompetent leadership has now killed hockey in Arizona. It's dead. It's not coming back. So, I mean, if you're happy about that, good for you. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't understand why anyone would gloat at another fan base's misery like this. Do you see baseball fans rubbing it in Oakland's face right now that they're about to lose the A's? All I see is people going, "Man, your owners are absolutely screwing you over. I'm so sorry." Like, how is that really much different here? That's basically what's happened here, is just bad ownership has ruined this. So, if you're going to be a troll, I don't know what to tell you, but there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hockey fans in Arizona that today is a terrible day. And it sucks. And yeah, I don't know how often I'll upload videos here, but this felt like I just had to get this off my chest. It's been like I've just been heartbroken all day. I love hockey so much, and I have since I was 6 years old. And I turned 39 later this year. 30 plus years of me loving hockey. And I'm from Arizona. I'm born and raised in Arizona. 30 plus years. And this is probably it. So, anyways, guys, all those other Coyotes fans out there, love you guys. Stay strong. We'll find something else to cheer for, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do, but I guess we'll figure it out. And for all you guys in Salt Lake City, enjoy the awesome team you're about to get, because and those players, you're about to inherit an awesome team, and it sounds like your owner actually intends to be a good owner, unlike what we've had. So good luck, but it's not my team. So anyways, guys, see ya.